childhood obesity is a national problem, but it's hitting the neighborhoods that we work in somewhat harder than other neighborhoods in America.
Most of the mothers that I see are concerned about obesity and their growth parameters in general, and whether the child is obese, overweight, or has the normal growth parameters.
We've been following a cohort of children from birth through age 12, and what we're reporting on is the growth outcomes and the obesity outcomes at age 5 and 7 in these children. The study is looking at the effects of exposure during pregnancy to PAH, which is the acronym for polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, which are a component of air pollution that we have in the city but all over the United States. And what we're seeing is that exposure during pregnancy is putting the children at higher risk of obesity.
This is the first time that the pollutants from fossil fuel burning, PAH, have been linked to obesity in children directly in terms of the monitoring of the air that the mother was breathing during pregnancy and the obesity in the children at ages 5 and 7.
We recruited moms to take part in the study, and the moms wore a backpack for 2 days, 48 hours within the prenatal period in the 3rd trimester. And the air is drawn in through here, and the pollution molecules are captured inside this white tube. So the moms wore the backpack like this with the air sampler over their shoulders so we could get continuous measurements of the pollution that they were experiencing.
What we advised pregnant women and women in general and mothers to not to smoke and not to have anybody who smokes in their household. Also, we advise them if they cook or grill, they should have appropriate ventilation by using a fan or open a window. We encourage them to eat a diet rich in fruits and vegetables, since these are a great source of antioxidants, which may offset the effects of PAH exposure.
Some of the things that can be done to reduce air pollution levels are, of course, to switch from diesels, which are very polluting, diesel buses and trucks, to cleaner technologies, and that's been done with the MTA bus fleet in New York, for example, and that's very beneficial. Another way of approaching the problem is, simultaneously, is to reduce the emissions from oil burners or coal burning operations and prevent those sources from impacting children's health.
The air pollution is, I think, part of the picture, but it's not by any means the only part of the picture. And so we've been looking at what we call neighborhood walkability. We've been looking at access to supermarkets and healthy food establishments. We've been looking at access to parks and playgrounds. And so this fits right in with our research, where we're interested in thinking about obesity from all the different angles that sort of contribute towards obesity.
We hope to be able to follow the children all the way through adolescence, because it's so important that we learn as much as we can from this very detailed, rigorous study that started when they were still in the womb. And we're fortunate enough to be able to do this because we've been able to retain a great proportion of the children who were initially enrolled. That's very unusual in studies like this.
I think the message is in part positive, that even after being exposed to these chemicals, we see kids that aren't overweight, aren't obese, and so we think that there are interventions that can be put in place to help out.